everybody. Robyn Williams here from Adelaide, South Australia, property developer. And what do I call myself? A reluctant renovator. Very reluctant to renovate, but if there's money to be made and properties to be improved, I'll be in there. I thought I would pop in and say hello. I haven't said hello for a little while and talk to you about the Adelaide property market and about how the government stuck its little fingers in again to make home buying easier and what effect I think that'll have and my understanding of what they've got. So I'm going to send you a little link below, which is a talk from Tim Lawless, where he's going to confirm some of these stats that I'm telling you because I got them from him in the first place. And it sort of backs up what's happening with the market and how I understand it. Another little link to a project I'm doing at Lockleys, which I'll talk about a little bit later too. So that's what I hope to tell you, and I'm hoping to get through it in about 6 or 7 minutes. But since I babble a lot, I better move quickly and keep on track. So I'm very excited about what's happening in Adelaide. It's very interesting. I don't say I'm excited because it's a little bit more challenging to find a project, but it's very interesting about what the government's done and government incentives. First of all, let's talk a little bit about the Adelaide property market, as I said. Now, in August, 0.9% our value has increased. Now, that is higher than the overall Australian average, according to Tim. So Adelaide property is not like booming at 100 miles an hour like it has over the last few years, but it's still going up quite well and very strongly. That's that's last month only, 0.9%. And our unit market is even crazier. I just bought a unit to live in, and let me tell you, it was crazy. People paying some ridiculous prices. We say ridiculous, but it's just what's current now. It's what is. We wanted to live down by the beach, and there was some really silly prices that were paid. Anyway, we've ended up with something that we're quite happy with, which is reasonable value compared to other prices, and we'll be happy to live there. At the moment, we're living in a friend's house that's going to do a development in it because we had to move out of where we were. It's been very cold. I mean, we're very grateful to be here, and it's a lovely house, but Adelaide has been very cold. We escaped Bali a few times. God, I don't like winter. I don't know how you feel about the cold, but I don't like it much. We escaped Bali a few times, and this house is cold as well. So it's been a little challenging. I've made a couple of holidays for next year at this time to escape the cold again. I think I forget how cold it gets in Adelaide every winter because we just think about summer. Anyway, I digress, and I'm supposed to say I stay on track. So there's also a shortage of supply, which is driving the property market. According to Tim Lawless, that we are 33% down on a 5-year average of supply. 33%. 100% would only be that 3 times 3. 33%, that's an awful lot. So no wonder we're being driven. Prices are going up and it's being driven. We're starting to normalise, I think, a little bit with population here in Adelaide and maybe Australia-wide with some policy changes. So, but we're still, with that lack of supply, we're still fighting over property. With the lack of supply and government and interest rates just coming down as well has made affordability, that's the word, affordability, a little bit easier. Having said that, I'm not sure that some of these government incentives have helped in any way. Let me tell you about the government incentives in South Australia. In South Australia, if you're a first home buyer and you meet a certain criteria, which just really means you can't have owned another house, I believe this is my opinion, this is my interpretation, let's say it that way. Please check. You can check the state government websites and read your way through there. Have a little chat to GPT. It might help too. The government will give you $15,000 if you're buying a new home. It has to be buying a new home, okay? The government in South Australia will also abolish your stamp duty if you're buying a new home. Oh my God, no stamp duty. That's like 5%. It's nearly 6% of your purchase price. Down the tubes, you don't have to pay it. Okay, so now you're a first-time buyer. You have to buy a new property, though, to get those two. So You don't need, the government's giving you some money, you don't need so much stamp duty. And now the Commonwealth government stuck its little dirty fingers in, or clean fingers, depending on how you look at it, and decided that if you're buying any home and you're a first home buyer, they're going to guarantee 15% of your deposit. So you only have to come up with 5%. Normally you have to come up with 20%. And if you're, and 6% stamp duty, okay, if it's a new home, you don't need that. So what do you have to find? What do you have to find? Not much. When I say they're going to guarantee and you only have to find 5%, that in South Australia, in Adelaide, applies to a property under $900,000 or under. There's a difference in regional areas. And honestly, I don't know that because I don't deal much in regional areas, but I think it's somewhere between 500 or 550. But please double check that on the state government website. Revenue SA is what they're called. So now, if you're buying a new house, okay, you only have to come up with 5%. 5%. So you might normally save for 10 years, I'm told, is the average that somebody saves to buy a new house. 10 years. That's what Tim Lawless told me. So now they're going to save that in so much less time. So what I interpret this to doing, and what some of the experts I've been talking to interpret this to be doing, is we're going to bring forward a whole lot of first homeowners now. These first homeowners that would normally be having to be saved for another 5 years can afford to buy now. So they're going to come forward, and then the ones that would be saving up for 10 years at the beginning and now will be able to come forward. And, you know, we all know about the Bank of Mum and Dad. I was at an auction the other week, which some friends of mine wanted to buy a house, but it was pretty obvious that the Bank of Mum and Dad were helping out this other young couple that were in their 20s who ended up paying $1.175 million for a house. So we all know about the Bank of Mum and Dad. They might help you with the 5%. So who knows? So that's pretty extraordinary, isn't it? And the problem with this, I see, is, again, it's not helping with affordability. So the prices are just going to go up because there's more demand, and that's what happens. More demand, lack of stock, prices go up. I personally would rather have seen something that helps out developers or creates a larger, why I'm saying helping out developers is just so it creates a larger supply, okay, of products. But this is just going to, what you're paying $800,000 for, you'll probably pay $850,000, and in 6 months' time you might be paying $900,000 for. Obviously, $900,000 is going to be the cap in South Australia. But again, I see this as another government policy that just drives prices up, like the last government policies that they introduced after or during COVID to help with. It's not helping. It's helping the first time owners get in, but it's not helping them with affordability. Having said that, you know, I'm raving about the 5% deposit. You still got to be able to have the serviceability to pay for that loan. It doesn't help any with serviceability, only bringing interest rates down will help with serviceability. So I've spent 8 minutes chatting. I wanted to tell you about my project. I've got about 4 projects on the go, but because I've been talking so long, let's cut this down, and I'll just tell you about the one I sent you the link to. I'm building, I'm not building, I'm selling 3 houses as house and land packages at Brooklyn Park in South Australia. Brooklyn Park's not far from the airport, not far from the city. You know, in the past, sometimes house and land have been harder to sell. And, you know, it's not always an easy thing, but having said that, it's much easier to sell them at the moment because of the lack of supply, this lack of 33%. So it was only 3 we're selling. We've got 2 away. We've got 1 left to go. It's taken me a while to get there with the titles. It seems to take so much longer these days to get titles, demolish it, Power SA, all of these things. And I can't get my money for the land I've got now without the titles. So we're hoping, and I'm pretty sure we will sell the last one. I've already had an offer, but we're pushing for more. We sold the first one for $900 during the process. We sold the next one for $950, and we're hoping to get well over $950 for the last one. So we're pretty excited about that. One of the reasons we're doing house and land, it would be worth a lot more if we built it out, is because this is what my joint venture partner would like to do, and more fits in their servicing criteria as well, their ability to service the project. So that's what's been happening in Adelaide and Australia-wide. I was a bit excited to tell you about that. And Oh, my screen's gone blank. Oh, I'm still there though. And that's all. I better hang up. I've been nearly 10 minutes. God, I hope I didn't bore you. And I will look forward to talking again. Please call me anything property if you want to chat. I'm always interested in people that might want a joint venture with serviceability. I'm always interested in people that might want to put some cash into a project. I'm just always interested in talking property. Okay, have fun, stay safe, and I'll talk again soon. Thanks.